Week 1 review. We're going to start out with our hot seat update. Last year, we said when he got this job, before he'd even started, he was already on the hot seat. Yep, that's right. It's Kalen DeBoer from Alabama. Alabama, they lose their first season opener since 2001. They were 23-0. They're now 23-1. This team, man, they just look unmotivated. They were out there jogging around, having a good old time, letting Florida State run all over them up and down the field. I mean, you've got rumors swirling of players door dashing food to the hotel at 2 a.m., sneaking their girlfriends into their hotel rooms, and even being late for the team bus. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that all of that's true. It's just what's swirling around. And if it is true, this is not a good look for Kalen DeBoer or Alabama. Even his press conference this past Monday, he even looked like he didn't know what was going on. The reporters asked him, like, last week you said that you felt like you had a good week of practice before Florida State. And he's like, I said that? And he's like, yeah. It's not looking good for Kalen DeBoer. I even had a friend compare him to Mark Richt, which is so funny. I understand why, but come on now. Anyway, fans are now, man, I've got Alabama fans or friends who are fans of the team. They're nervous about playing UL Monroe this weekend. Now, I understand that that was like one of those big upsets that they had against Saban in his early days at Alabama, but even for them to be like nervous about a game like that is kind of insane to me. In Saban's entire career, he only lost 3 games he was favored in. DeBoer is 4-14 in just his second season at Bama. This is definitely not a good look for them. Those losses obviously being Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, Michigan, and now Florida State. They were a 13.5 point favorite and lost that game. So I'd say this for the hot seat update. Yeah, that thing is on fire, and he has got to put it out quick, and he has got to make the playoffs this year. That's the only way he's going to put that seed out, is either making the SEC championship or making the playoffs. It's not looking good for old DeBoer. Isaac, any final thoughts before we move on from this segment?
Man, Imma just say that I had a colleague at work who obviously my friend Jim, he's a big Florida State fan, he goes to a lot of games in Tallahassee, and I had another colleague who was like, "I don't know why he's going to that game. I mean, it's Alabama." And I looked at him and I said, "Because Florida State's gonna win, that's why." Now, granted, I did pick Alabama on the pod, let me just say. But I had a hunch, and boy, the Seminoles stomped, the Doak was rocking, and it was a great Saturday in Tallahassee. He said it was a great time. They were soaked, it poured during the second quarter, and then it was beautiful, and so I'm just thinking about how miserable I would have been in Florida if I'd been soaked and then it'd been, 85. And then it rained again after the game, and he said, "Yeah, I didn't storm the field with everybody else because I was soaked, and honestly, I just didn't want to fool with it." But nonetheless, what a great time for Florida State fans, and listen, who knows? The Noles might be back. Great win for Norvell and, DeBoer. Clock's ticking.
Absolutely, the clock is ticking. I mean, I even said last week that, I was not gonna pick Alabama on a road game in Ty Simpson's first start to in a stadium that is so crazy. That atmosphere, like you said last week, it's gonna be rocking, and it was. That Florida State band, I know they're annoying, but they're awesome. They're loud. They're there for their team. But yeah, I said that I was not picking Alabama to cover a spread that big on the road in Ty Simpson's first start, and yeah, man, I ended up being correct.